Yo, what up, Doe? You tuned into the What Up Doe Show Radio Network, and this is the program where we talk shop, we talk sports, yeah, we talk a little shit. It's the Showdown. Yo, what up, though? I'm your boy, OG Tim Wilson, and I am here with the Nasty Boys. I'm sorry, I'm taking my last shot as I put this boy to sleep on the pool table in here. So anyway, I'm your boy, OG Tim Wilson. I'm in here with the Nasty Boys, Big Ed and Wayz. What's happening, fellas?
What up, what up?
What up, dude?
Hello, guys.
All right. He is alive. So yeah, man, adventurous week in football, adventurous week in fantasy football, and we are here to talk about all of it. So on that note, man, we're gonna start off by doing a traditional shot to get us started.
Cheers.
Woohoo! Okay. All right. And on that note, folks,
All right.
let's hop right to it. Wayz, what's going on in the world of sports?
So before we hit this injury report, we got a little bit of news we can talk about here.
Okay.
Concerning fantasy. First up is it's not really too significant, but definitely something interesting, and that's Kenny Pickett is being named the starter for this week's game for the Steelers.
Kind of saw that coming.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I'm interested to see how it goes. He had a rough start last week, but
Ooh. Ouch.
what?
Yeah, he's gonna have it rough this week too.
Oh yeah, we'll see.
Going up against the Bills.
Yeah, but we'll see. Maybe it'll bring something a little different that might bring a little more life to the Steelers. Next up, the bigger subject that I think everyone should be talking about is the Tua Tagovailoa concussion investigation and his concussion that he got this past week as well.
He has actually been advised to retire.
You guys know I'm a big fan of his, but when I took that kind of a concussion hit, that was the end for me. So, and I would say it really kind of should be for him too. He can't risk it after that kind of a concussion.
No, it was interesting. Yeah, that was bad. That was real bad, man. And I feel bad for the guy. I hope he's got some career left in him because it was a long career ahead of him. Having a great year. That was very unfortunate. I found it interesting that I was watching last week's episode, and when Tua came up, Big Ed mentioned that he had a concussion, and Wayz was ready for him and said that was fake news or false information or something like that. It was a neck and back, and that's what they. Wayz was right. That's what they said. But when I did see the video clip from him previously, it did look like a concussion, and I think it almost looked like he was out before he hit the ground in that play on this past weekend.
Yeah.
And that was scary, man, and especially, and it was you didn't see it coming because there was like nobody around him, and then he just ran back to the trouble and got caught.
Yeah.
And got slung like a rag doll, man. And that was extremely scary.
Yeah.
And I feel real bad for him.
And as someone who's gone through that kind of concussion, it's more than crit. You know exactly that experience. And I know by the time he got to that locker room, he thought it was the day before. And that's not even me just trying to be funny. That's legit what happened to me. By
Right.
the time I got off the field, I didn't even know what day it was. I was missing a few days. You know, you literally get knocked into the past with stuff like that.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, I think at the very least, and being very generous with this, his season should be over.
Oh, there's no doubt about it.
Yeah.
I
No
don't see
doubt.
him coming
Yeah.
back this year, but will he ever come back? That's a question.
Yeah,
Right.
I personally would say no. You got too much to live for, and risking permanent, severe brain damage just to play football is not. It doesn't benefit him in any way.
No. The reason I knew he had a concussion is because we saw the same thing last year with Patrick Mahomes. He got hit, got up, wobbled a couple steps, and they took him out
Mhm.
under concussion protocol. He was done for the night. Should have been the same thing with Tua. Probably would have saved him from getting another concussion on Thursday.
Yeah, potentially career-ending. That's not that.
Yeah, because he wouldn't have been able to play.
Yep. So the doctor that let him go back in got fired.
Yep.
So
And they were interviewing the NFL and NFLPA interviewed Tua earlier today. They're expecting to have a resolution and answers by the end of this week.
They're going to come down on somebody because somebody's got to pay.
Mm-hmm.
And the NFL can't take the blame. You got to protect the shield, so you've got to blame somebody.
And that person's going to be Josh McDaniel.
Mike McDaniel.
Whatever.
Josh is in Las Vegas.
Yeah, I thought about the wrong guy. Yeah.
That's unfortunate for him too. Young coach,
Young coach, young bright
Adam
coach.
was turning him around,
Mm-hmm.
and now this happens. And he was pretty insensitive about it, though.
Yeah.
In the aftermath, he was pretty doggone insensitive. It was like, bro, his press conference was like, bro, you out of touch, man. They tell you never went through this,
Right.
So, yeah, you're probably right. So, on with the injury report. Injury.
All right. First up is definitely a fantasy setback for quite a few people. We got Cordell Patterson. He just hit IR with a knee injury. On the upside to that, he could potentially only miss. He will be out for at least 4 weeks, so he could potentially be back by the end of the season.
Last report I heard said he could be back by week 6.
Next week?
No, week 6.
That's next week.
Week 6 is next week. So yeah, I'm thinking. I heard he was out about a month, like you heard. Wayz.
Yeah.
So thanks a lot, Big Ed. He always gotta chime in.
Damian Williams is out with in IR with a rib injury, so it's looking like his season's done.
Ouch.
Yeah. Another bad wide receiver news. A guy I picked up off a free agency wire because he was getting real hot. He's right now. Isaiah McKenzie's currently listed as questionable with a concussion. And with us approaching bye weeks, that's never good. Melvin Gordon is questionable this week with a neck injury. He's expected to start Thursday, but with the neck injury, you never know, especially at that position.
That's interesting because now he's the guy.
Yeah.
Because another name you hadn't got to yet
Nope.
to play.
Oh yeah, Javonte Williams. He's on IR.
Yeah. He's done for the season.
Yeah, he's out for the season. Uh, then one that kind of shocked me, but didn't, is Jonathan Taylor. He's right now listed as questionable with an ankle injury. And the Colts are currently undecided if he'll play on Thursday. So that's something that everyone should be definitely watching for.
He's been underachieving this year.
Yeah. Yeah, he's not. He doesn't have the numbers he had last year, fantasy wise at least, or really even stat wise. Period.
And I'm going to say so far because, quite frankly, we tend to forget, but he really didn't take off until after Derrick Henry's injury last year.
Exactly.
And that's when he took off. I don't know what it was. It was like a mental thing. Like, okay, he's gone. Now I'm the big dog on the block. And he just took off. So maybe he got off to a slow start last year, too. We weren't paying attention, and maybe he'll turn it up eventually. And second half of the season, watch out. We'll see.
Yeah.
Man,
Obvious.
I know there's a lot of fantasy owners praying for it.
Man, I'm saying.
I've seen him on the trading block out there, but I just I saw him on the trading block in one of my leagues, and I'm tempted, but I just get a feeling they're gonna have too high of an asking price for him, more than I want to pay. So
Yeah, exactly.
I just left it alone.
The next one's a very obvious out and person that's going to affect a lot of people, including myself, especially myself, and that's Tua Tagovailoa out with his concussion. Personally, I think that should be placed on IR, but we have time before we see where that actually goes. Mac Jones is currently listed as questionable.
Mac Jones is interesting to me because in a dynasty league, and Mac Jones was cut by my nemesis, Johnny Mechanic. I guess he doesn't get the concept yet of a dynasty league. So Mac Jones got hurt. So he hurried up and dumped Mac Jones and picked up Brian Hoyer instead of putting Mac Jones on the IR. So I sent him a thank you to Johnny the dumbass mechanic. I appreciate you. And I picked up Mac Jones because it's a league that I need. I'm quarterback hungry a little bit. I'm starving on quarterback a bit in that league. So I'm glad he dumped Mac Jones, and so I picked him up, put him on my IR, and I'll let him sit.
And speaking of IR,
Yeah.
Mac Jones's backup, Hoyer, he may potentially end up on IR by the end of next week.
Yep, I saw that.
Which leaves this kid no one's ever heard of until this draft period, and forgot about that quickly. And what was his name? Something Zap.
Zappy.
What?
Zappy. I've heard of Zappy. He's from Central Michigan.
That's why I never really heard of him.
Yeah,
Don't sleep on Central Michigan. They got a good program.
he was doing his thing the other day.
Oh yeah, he came out there. He was doing it.
And he's got a warm-up game this week.
Huh?
He's got a warm-up game this week.
He does?
Yeah, you want to pick him up.
Okay. That's something we'll have to keep an eye on.
They played Detroit.
That's why I was like, what? Hold on. All right. Moving on. We got Daniel Jones listed as questionable with an ankle injury. And his backup, Tyrod Taylor, is on IR.
Damn.
Yeah. Same
Sucks
game.
to be the Giants.
The Giants and the Patriots lost their first and second string quarterbacks in the same game this past week.
Wow.
And the Giants got the Packers this week.
Yeah, that's
in
big.
London.
That is big. And who is their third string that they're starting now? I don't think anyone knows.
Oh no, it's that's who it is.
Speaking of the Giants and unfavorable injuries, Sterling Shepard is now on injured reserve with a knee injury.
Ouch.
Yeah, they took the biggest hit this week. But no, I say Atlanta still took their biggest hit with Cordero.
And they ain't playing Galladay, are they?
They are playing him. He's just not. He hasn't been performing that well this season.
Yeah, Galladay has been trash, man. Quite frankly.
Yeah. I have an IDP injury that could affect a lot of players, especially since this position gets a lot of tends to
Okay.
get a lot of points in a lot of leagues I'm in.
Okay.
And that's Darius Slay is listed as questionable with a forearm injury.
Ooh, that's hurting.
That's gonna hurt. Yeah.
That's gonna hurt.
Yeah, and they got Arizona this week.
Yeah.
Even on another level. Now Arizona is underperforming, but man, big play Slay been getting it in.
Yeah. And the final person I got on the injury report this week is ranked 28th in PPR, and that's Jahan Dotson, who's
Jahan Dotson.
Yep, who's listed as questionable with a hamstring injury, but they're expecting him to be out for 1 to 2 weeks.
I like Jahan Dotson, but I don't know that he has great fantasy value yet.
He's been one of the more consistent wide receivers this year.
I look to him to be a stud in the near future.
Oh yeah, I can absolutely agree with that. That does it for the fantasy report or the injury report this week.
Dagger. There you go. All right, so that is it for the injury report this week. What do we have next there, Big Wayz?
Next up, we have our heavy hitters from last week.
The heavy hitters. Big Ed, it's on you, man. Who we got?
Man, we got one quarterback that's making his first time ever on the heavy hitters list. But first off, we got Jared Goff, Geno Smith, and Russell Wilson.
Damn. So, just to point out what that statement in and of itself meant, Jared Goff and Geno Smith played against each other.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That was the fucking highest scoring game in the world. Them motherfuckers played basketball.
Man, yo, it reminded me of Tua versus Lamar in week 2. It was just a shootout between the two.
Shit.
Yeah.
So, to break down some stats for you guys. The Lions have now scored more points than any team in NFL history over their first 4 games. No one in history have scored more points than they've scored over a stretch of the first 4 games than the Detroit Lions. The problem is they've also gave up more points than any team in the history of the NFL over the first 4 games, and they're 1-3.
Man.
So they have 2 issues here. There's 2 things that's wrong. One is the defense is trash.
Mm-hmm.
And the other is their coach loses his composure in close games late. Late in close games, he loses his composure and somehow just fucking throws away a game. They should have beat Minnesota. The coach lost that one. Same thing happened to them last year against Minnesota and last year against the Ravens, even with more exclaiming. So he's lost them games. This wasn't the first game he's lost this team in the late moments, but it's close. We can win. We got this. And he fucks up, makes a stupid decision. He really needs somebody in the box. He got mad. I don't know if y'all know this story. He does an interview with Stoney and Jansen every Tuesday morning. He was on this morning. So every Tuesday morning, he does an interview on a local radio station here.
Mm-hmm.
And Stoney went in on him last week when they lost to Minnesota. And he got mad at him. They thought he was going to cancel him because he got mad because Tony said that he needs. He said, "You think you should have like an overseer or a coach to help you make those late game decisions, or somebody to be looking at it and he got mad as hell. But the truth is, he does.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
He needs somebody to get in his ear in a late game situation and say, "Boom! Don't. What do you want to do? Don't do that. Stop. Wait. Let somebody else make those late game decisions so that you don't fuck up the game
Right.
like you did last week." So he did lose them one. They should be at worst 2-2, which would be a little more respectable. But they're 1-3 after scoring over 140 points over the first 3 games. That's first 4 games. That's fucking ridiculous.
And having the most prolific offense, period. I mean, damn the points, the yards, and everything.
Everything.
Yeah.
Getting it in. So all those that's been crying that Jared Goff is the problem, I've been telling y'all he's not. And if you can't see it now, you're blind, baby. You're blind from the facts. Oh, yeah, because you're watching that garbage.
Running backs. Austin Eckler, Josh Jacobs, and Miles Sanders.
This was not a week for the usual suspects.
No, it wasn't.
This was a week that the unusual suspects really took over the league. And so there was a lot of crazy scores in fantasy, a lot of upsets, a lot of bench players that guys you left on the bench that scored a lot of points. This was the week to catch somebody slipping, man, because it was not your usual suspect scoring this week.
No. Wide receivers. Here's where you do get your usual suspects. Justin Jefferson, Mike Evans, and Cooper Kupp.
I don't see how Cooper Kupp is in there. He ain't score. He got a lot of yards, but he didn't score.
Well, in fantasy, yards add up.
Yeah.
It depends on how you score, because I've had players score 2-3 touchdowns and shit. That's it. They get small yards and big points, even though they got touchdowns. So he did put up a lot of yards, but it's one of their problems, though, the Rams, is that Matt Stafford is too locked in on him. So I look for that to be addressed. I would say a guy to look out for would be Allen Robinson coming up next week, because they're going to bring that up to him. They're going to address that. From the coaching standpoint, they're going to address the fact that Matt Stafford has blinders on for Cooper Kupp and is not using the rest of his team, his other receivers. So he's going to start force feeding Allen Robinson. I would guarantee it. Book it.
And
by the way, who did they play?
they played San Francisco.
Oh, okay. I ain't see that game. Who won?
On the tight ends, we got T.J. Hockenson.
I got Debo. Debo was the heavy hitter with Cooper Kupp. Anyway, go ahead.
Well, Debo only had 6 receptions. Cooper Kupp had 14.
Yeah, but how many points? How many touchdowns and yards? Cooper Kupp had 140 yards. Debo got touchdown.
120 yards. He beat him out. And where I get my stats from, he beat him out by 2 points.
No, I take Debo. I take Debo's week over Cooper Kupp's week. You give me yards and no score. I take the yards and the score.
Well, even then, T. Higgins belongs above Debo Samuel.
Yeah.
Nobody belongs above Debo Samuel.
Okay, on the tight ends. T.J. Hockenson, Mo Alley Cox, and Travis Kelce.
Who? Who is the Cox one?
Mo Alley Cox.
Oh, yeah, I just picked him up in another league. Yeah.
He's the kind of guy that you got to be careful with in fantasy, because he's inconsistent, but as soon as you put him on a bench, he scores.
Mm-hmm.
As soon as you put him in a game, he doesn't.
He's one of those tight ends where you have to
You
have
put him
to,
on your bench and hold him for bye week.
no, you have to pay attention to what the linebacking core looks like on the team he's facing that week. And if it's a shit linebacking core, start him. If it's a moderately okay or a good one, put him on the bench.
Okay. I always used him as the guy that I sat on my bench until bye week. It was because I had to have a tight end. The slim pickings were slim. He's always on the waiver wire because nobody picks him up.
Yep.
You can grab him and sit him there and stash him till bye week and then dump his ass.
I just picked him up and dropped O.J. Howard in one of my leagues.
I saw that. Yeah. O.J. Howard to me has been the consummate underachiever. Every year I hear so many things about how much OJ is going to do this year. This is his year. This is this. And every year he gives me nothing.
Yeah, I'm telling you, too bad the league's not named Nicole. He might be killing it.
I don't get it, but okay, I'm going to take your word for
it. Someone's going to catch the OJ joke.
I caught it.
Gotcha.
I got it. On the defenses. OG, you going to be happy about this one.
Emma?
49ers, number 1.
Hufanga is number 1. Let's be real.
Boy, let me tell you something. That dude is a beast, man.
Hey, I told y'all week 1 to start watching out for him.
You ain't say that.
Bullshit. Go back and watch the tape.
Okay, I will give Big Ed credit here because he did say that, and then I picked him up right after the show in the league Big Ed and I was on, so Big Ed didn't pick him up. And go figure, him and Debo brought me out of a 40-point deficit to win by 30.
Damn.
Damn. Man, I'm telling you, the way he was flying around that field in the Bears game, man.
And this dude trying to tell me he take Cooper Kupp over Debo. I ain't buying that. Anyway, man.
I'm just reading what the stats say.
No. You just need new sources.
Number 2 and number 3 defenses is the New York Giants and the Philadelphia Eagles.
Who did the 49ers play?
The Rams.
God damn it. Okay.
They had 7 sacks, 1 interception, and 1.
Oh, they kicked their ass. They were straight dominating that fucking offense.
Well,
Man. That defense was dominant.
They came in with the mentality of this is revenge.
Oh, that was a dominant performance last night. And you know what? They dropped 2 more interceptions.
Yep.
They dropped 2 more interceptions, one in the end zone and another one late in the game, shortly before that last fumble. That fumble and fumble recovery. And the fumble was weird because it looked like Matt Stafford had thrown it. And you're like, well, if the ball flew that far forward, arm had to be moving forward. But the ball had slipped out, and the defender was going to grab Stafford, and the tip of his fingers hit the ball and knocked it forward. It looked like he had thrown it. Everybody thought he had threw it. The ball was just on the ground. They were just walking away from it. Everybody was walking away from it, and then one guy noticed it wasn't no whistle, so he just jumped on it. And they were like, right. First down 49ers. I was like, oh, shit. This game is the best game ever. I quit my job so I could sit home and watch it again.
Hell no.
All right, what we got next? Kickers?
Nope. That's it. That's all the heavy hitters.
My bad. A kicker won a game for me this week, so I ain't going to hate on the kickers this week.
No.
I was behind, and all I had in the game was a kicker, and I was losing, and it was the Rams kicker. 3 field goals, and I don't know how the points go in it because every league do it differently if you get points for so many yards. But he scored enough points to come back and win a damn game for me. And I was like, holy shit. I won a very close game. It was the narrow victory of the week, but I won a close one. By the way, Big Air beat me again this week, y'all.
See, I wasn't even going to say nothing.
I was undefeated too. I was undefeated, so I suffered the one loss. It was the closest game of the week. He snuck out a narrow victory over me in was that Dynasty?
Yep, it was in the Dynasty League.
Dynasty League. So yeah, he snuck in a close victory and nipped me, but that's okay, man, because it's early. I told you, season don't start till the bye week.
Yeah.
Yep.
Man, I was sitting there paying attention to the game
Season
for a
ain't
little
over
bit.
till I win. That's what I'm saying.
I was looking at the game for a little bit, on and off, and I thought I was gonna lose that game. So I don't know what the fuck happened.
Hey, that's
Oh,
like the one in the Let the Big Dogs Eat for me. It right before Monday's game, it had me projected to lose 99% to 1.
damn,
And then I end up whooping that ass with 2 players.
damn, I love it. That's nice. That's
Hell
nice.
yeah.
So I got a confession. I didn't watch any football this weekend.
Oh wow. I know
I
you said
saw-
Chipmunk was up there.
Chipmunk was here, so I hung out with Chip for a minute. But yeah, I missed. The only game I saw Sunday was Kansas City and Tampa Bay, and I saw the game last night. That's it. That's all I got for football for the whole weekend. So I didn't know what the scores were. I saw this post that Johnny the Dumbass put up, and I'm thinking I sucked. I'm like, oh fuck, I had a bad week. You listen to haters, and they're gonna tear you down and make you think you failed. But when you go on and look for yourself, you realize this motherfucker put up a score from a league I'm not even in.
And then not only
Nobody's in the fucking league. He's the only person. He is the only active player in the league. Talking about, I'm going all in. Well, I hope you win, because if you don't tell me.
but OG, the funniest part about that was by how many points he won by.
How many points you win by?
Not even one.
Oh, no. You're talking
Oh,
about
that was a different league.
That was a different league. That wasn't
okay.
even him. The one he put where I lost by less than a point, that wasn't even him I was playing. He don't even know the guy that I was playing in that league. He just saw that I lost by less than a point. It was a tough game. And the guy nipped me by less than a point. And that was my first loss. And he put that out there, and I'm like, dude, I was like, talking about I got clocked. I'm like, dude, I didn't get clocked. I lost by less than a point. But the game he won by a landslide. But I didn't even know I was in this league. I don't even have this app. Haven't been to this website since in 2 years. So I'm like, how did you even? You just activate leagues that nobody knows and then just start playing. If I'd have known that that league was activated, I'd have joined just to drop out. Not in the
Right.
league.
Oh, this man's just trying to get content for Facebook by any means necessary.
I'm like, bro, give me a break, man. Come on, you reaching, dog. Come on. I'm trying to win anyway. I hope you win, motherfucker. Ain't nobody else playing.
Right.
Right, if you lose, that's a problem that you got.
That's what I said. If you don't win, please don't let me know. I dedicate a whole show to it. It won't even be called the Showdown. It'll be called Johnny the Dumbass Mechanic Lost This Fucking League He's In By Himself. That's be the name of the show, and I just do an hour about it.
Right.
I do a whole hour on it. Oh yeah, no, that was but I went when I finally was able to get to my own stuff and look at my scores, I was surprised. I've actually had a decent week. Like, what damn, and then that's when I realized this motherfucker's putting up a game. I don't even because I was going through all my leagues trying to find that one. I'm like, damn, I'm getting blew out like that. Let's see if I came back. See if I came. I'm like, I ain't even got this fucking team. Where the fuck is this league? That motherfucker here, just making up shit. Yeah, damn, this motherfucker just creating leagues for me. Anyway, man, I digress. Wayz, where we going next?
All right, next up, we have our fantasy grinder predictions for week 5. Starting with our quarterbacks. Pick 3 quarterbacks that you think are going to be at the top of the league.
All right, I've got Josh Allen. against Pittsburgh. Patrick Mahomes against the Ravens. And Jalen Hurts showing up my boy Kyler Murray
Okay.
in Arizona.
I'm going to go Lamar Jackson against Cincinnati. Aaron Rodgers against the Giants. And Tom Brady against Atlanta.
All right. I got Lamar Jackson. I got Jalen Hurts. And I got someone I think is going to perform really well based off of the defense he's playing against. And the way he's been playing the last couple weeks, I'm going to go with Trevor Lawrence against Houston.
That's not a bad pick, man. Trevor is a good little. He's been having a decent season, and you're right. Going against Houston, he should show us something.
Yeah.
I'd like to throw an honorable mention out there. Nobody named him, but Justin Herbert is facing Cleveland, so he had a huge week this past week.
Man,
that flew under the radar. So I'm gonna give him some love there.
yeah.
Okay.
All right, next up we got running backs.
But hold up, any sit-ems? I got some sit-ems. I'm going to sit Matt Stafford against Dallas because Dallas is going to be coming up. Fucking Micah going to be coming at that ass.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to sit Jared Goff against New England because the streak has to stop. And why not now? And they're in New England at that. So, and Geno Smith against New Orleans goes back to life, back to reality. You're not playing the Lions this week.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Got any, Big Ed?
Andy Dalton against Seattle. Jacoby against the Chargers. And Kenny Pickett against Buffalo.
Can't really blame you on that Kenny Pickett one.
What'd you say last year, OG? Never trust a rookie in his first start.
What he said.
Ever.
We learned that with Justin Fields.
Speaking of Justin Fields.
I ain't gonna go there yet.
Go there, because you know who they playing. Go there.
I'm gonna sit Kyler Murray against Philly.
Ooh, that's risky.
I'm gonna sit.
Without Darius Slay, I probably would play him.
Okay, that's fair. I'm gonna sit the Baker who likes to bake those apple turnovers, Baker Mayfield against San Fran.
No, Day.
And then I'm gonna sit whoever the third string quarterback is for the Giants against Green Bay.
I'm surprised he didn't do it, man. Justin Fields against Minnesota. Why not? Why would you not say that?
Because our cornerbacks have been playing soft the last few games.
Justin
Fields might do some work.
Yeah, but Harrison Smith hasn't. Eric Kendricks hasn't.
I'm still sitting him, man. And you know what? Don't feel bad, Big Ed, because quite frankly, I would probably sit Garoppolo this week too.
Against Carolina?
Yeah.
I don't know. Carolina hasn't really been playing lights out at the corner position.
But yeah, they ain't stopping the run too much either.
But see, yeah, the analyst in me says sit Justin Fields. So.
Yeah, but I'm just saying that Carolina don't do a good job stopping the run either.
No.
Right.
And if you can't stop the run, the 49ers going to run it down your fucking throat.
Oh, speaking of stuff, what's up?
Speaking of running,
Yeah, I was just gonna say. Speaking of stopping the run, who y'all got for your running back for
Nick
your grinders?
Chubb. Nick
Nick
Chubb.
Chubb.
Mm-hmm.
Saquon Barkley.
Mm.
And Austin Eckler.
Ooh, mulatto power. Who you
Uh,
got, Big A?
I'm gonna go with that boy Wilson in San Francisco.
Mm.
Leonard Fournette against Atlanta,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm gonna go Derrick Henry against Washington.
Ooh. Okay. I got Fournette. I got Derrick Henry as well. But I will go ahead and say Delvin Cook against Chicago.
Okay.
That ain't too bad. That ain't too bad. Um,
Siddums?
I'm gonna set Ezekiel Elliott, Cam Akers, and Rashad Penny, who's back to life, back to reality. You're not playing the Lions.
I'm gonna sit Devin Singletary.
Hmm.
I'm gonna sit Antonio Gibson against Tennessee, and Clyde Edward Hilaire against Las Vegas.
Okay. Hey. All right. Um, I'm gonna sit Devin Singletary as well.
As am I.
I would say Cam Akers as well, and I'm gonna say, ooh, this is a mixer because it's a honorable mention tied in with the situm. I'm gonna say sit Aaron Jones and start AJ Dillon.
Yeah, I feel that AJ Dillon has been a little bit of a
Yeah.
disappointment. You know who's going to be interesting to watch? Um, Melvin Gordon,
Hmm.
If he plays.
if he plays, and so far this year he's been having the fumblies.
Mm-hmm.
So while he's taking over, I wouldn't. I'm scared to jump the gun, and I got him in a couple of leagues too. But I'm scared to jump the gun and put him in there because he's got the fumblies. He makes me nervous.
Anybody that got fumbleitis makes me nervous. So
Especially when you're gonna get the ball all day. You know
right,
what I'm saying? It was different. You was getting the ball here and there, and you had the fumblies. But now
reminds
you're
me
gonna
of
get the ball all day. Shit.
shit. I have flashbacks to Rashawn Salam.
Shit. I got two running backs who are surefire Hall of Famers that had the baddest case of fumbleitis earlier in their career.
Who?
And that is Adrian Peterson and Tiki Barber.
Adrian Peterson. I knew that's what you was gonna say because you are correct. He did have the fumblies.
Yeah. So did Tiki though too.
Yeah. But
Wide receivers.
what you got, Big
I
Ed?
got
Or
I got Cooper Cup, Justin Jefferson, and Stephon Diggs.
Okay.
I'm gonna go Tyreek Hill, Debo Samuel, and AJ Brown.
I got Stephon Diggs, Mike Evans, and Debo Samuel. Who's y'all sittums?
For my sittums, I'm gonna say Deontay Johnson at Buffalo. It's hard to catch a ball when you don't have a quarterback.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go Drake London. I think he'll take a step backwards with Tampa Bay because I think they're gonna lock him. And a guy that's been pretty inconsistent of years, I'm just going to go ahead and call him a sit-em this week is Gabe Davis. Gabriel Davis with the Bills.
Okay.
Okay.
Lattimore's back this week, right? Yeah. I'm gonna go with DK Metcalf. I'm gonna sit CD Lamb. And I'm gonna sit Amari Cooper.
All right, I will go with.
I can't co-sign none of those, Big Ed. I'm sorry.
I'm gonna go with Galladay. This one's a little risky, but I'm gonna say
I'm gonna change. No, cut his ass.
Put him on the waiver wire.
I'm gonna go with Waddle. And that's a risky one to say sit, but I'm gonna go with Waddle and Jarvis Landry.
Y'all came. Balling. I'm saying y'all came with some doozies on receivers. Woo. Woo. All right. Okay.
Hey, just because DK did good last week, it don't mean he's gonna do good this week.
I know he's not playing the Lions, but I don't know if I sit him. But anyway.
Hey, New Orleans got a fucking tough ass defense.
Okay. More reason that they're more than likely going to have to throw the ball, and who they'll throw to.
I don't see Geno getting away from Cam Jordan.
Well, he ain't going to sack him every down. I mean, he's going to get some throws off. It's just the nature of the beast. And once you fall behind or the run ain't working, you got to throw it more often. Who you going to throw to?
Right.
I mean, Geno stats can suffer due to sacks and interceptions, but wide receivers can still put up some numbers.
Yeah,
if he's throwing a lot, that's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
So that's all I'm saying. Anyway, tight ends. I'm going with my usual suspects: Travis Kelce, Mark Andrews, and Darren Waller.
Okay. I'm going to go Mark Andrews, Dallas Goedert, and I'm going to go TJ Hawkinson.
All right. I got Travis Kelce, Mark Andrews, and the guy who used to round out last year's usual suspects, Kyle Pitts.
Yeah, Kyle Pitts he's been missing in action this year. So
yeah.
You might be onto something there. I'm gonna go with my sit-ems as Pat Freiermuth of the Steelers, Gerald Everett of the Chargers, and David Njoku for the Browns.
Ooh.
Okay. I'm going to go with Zach Ertz against Philly. I'm going to go with Kyle Pitts against Tampa Bay.
Ooh.
And I'm going to go with Dalton Schultz against the Chargers.
The dude said you start him as a sit-em. I don't believe you going to take that big Wayz. He said you'll start him as a sit-em.
It is what it is. You know, only time will tell. We'll have that conversation again next week. After, he ends up on the top of the heavy hitters.
Okay.
This week's my sit-ems, I really hate to do this one, but he's been disappointing me these last few weeks. Irv Smith Jr., Devin Njoku, I absolutely agree with. And another one who's been really disappointing me and my fantasy squads, Dalton Schultz.
Wow. Dalton Schultz hit 2 lists this week, and so did Njoku. So that says a lot. Are we doing defenses?
We can.
Bills, 49ers, Packers.
gonna go Buccaneers, Dolphins, Chiefs.
Okay. Okay. I'm gonna go with Dallas. I'm gonna go with 49ers. And I'm gonna go with the Chargers.
All right. Um, I
That's a
got
tall
one
order.
sit 'em defense. One defense that I'm gonna sit 'em. The Lions,
Mm.
just because. And I'd say that for my boy JC. JC the bitch. The Lions defense ain't shit. All right, so dump them. Anyway. All right, man. That's grinders of the week. Grinders
Oh,
and
who's Big Ed's sit 'em for
sit
defense?
'em.
Uh,
One
I'm gonna
sit
sit New England.
Mm.
I'm gonna sit the
against Detroit.
Chargers.
Okay.
Yep.
I'm
All
gonna
right.
I'm gonna say
I'm gonna
Houston.
sit.
Houston. He gonna sit Houston. He gonna sit New England. I'm gonna sit Detroit. So if me and him are right, then that's gonna be a very high scoring game. Uh anyway, man, that's it for the grinders and put them in the binders. The grinders and never minders. How about that?
Grinders and Neverminders. I like that. That's catchy.
Oh, so what we got next, Wayz?
Oh, it's time for the pick 'em.
It's time for the picks. So let's see here. Let's first see what we did last week. Cincinnati defeated Miami on Thursday night. And Joe picked Miami. Minnesota knocked off New Orleans and London. We all picked Minnesota. Atlanta upset Cleveland, didn't they?
Yeah,
Didn't Atlanta upset Cleveland?
they did.
Wow, Big Ed picked Atlanta. Dallas beat the dog snot out of Washington, and we all picked Dallas. We all saw that shit coming. Let's see here. Seattle beat Detroit in a shootout by 3, and we all were dumb enough to go with the Lions. Tennessee beat Indiana. We all picked Tennessee. New York beat Chicago. The Giants beat Chicago. And Big Ed picked Chicago. Philly beat the Jacksonville Jaguars. We all went with Philly. The New York Jets put an upset over Pittsburgh. And Big Ed picked the New York Jets. Buffalo defeated Baltimore. And Joe picked Baltimore. The Los Angeles Clippers dominated Houston, and we all saw that one coming. The Los Angeles Chargers.
Clippers. What the hell?
I wrote down LAC. I saw LAC, and I thought the last Los Angeles Clippers. It's the Los Angeles Chargers. But the Clippers could beat Houston too. Actually, they're that bad. But yeah, the Chargers dominated Houston, and we all picked the Chargers. Arizona defeated Carolina. Baker Mayfield sucks, and we no, Big Ed picked Carolina. Green Bay beat New England. We all picked Green Bay. Las Vegas Raiders picked up their first victory over Denver. We all picked the Raiders. Kansas City defeated Tampa Bay in domineering fashion, and Big Ed picked Kansas City. And, of course, Frisco dominated the Los Angeles Rams, and Joe picked the Los Angeles Rams.
I'm so embarrassed about that pick.
Ooh. So look at this. Huge turnaround. Big Ed with his best week yet. In 2 years, this is the best week he's had, going 13-3.
Wow.
See, even he can't believe it. And Joe went 8-8.
Ugh.
And I did a respectable 12-4. So Big Ed wins the week, and he surpassed Joe in the overall record, going 38-26 over 4 weeks. After week 4, Joe is 35-29. And I sit atop so far, still holding on to my lead by the hair on my chinny chin chin. 40-24.
Ooh-wee.
So, yes, sir, it's getting close. It's close. It's close. And that's our pick'em for last week. Wayz.
There we go for this week. All right, starting off with Thursday night football, not Monday.
Thursday
night.
night
I
football.
almost said Monday.
It's all right.
We have Indianapolis going to Denver.
I'm going with Denver.
I'm going to go with Denver, too.
I am going to go with Denver as well. The London game. We got the Giants.
The Lunday game.
English became my second language real fast there. All right, the London game. We got the Giants versus Green Bay.
Green Bay.
Green Bay.
All right. Afternoon games. We got.
Well, you got to make a pick, sir.
My bad. I thought it was obvious. Green Bay.
It's never obvious.
We are not mind readers. Neither are any of our viewers. Maybe. I don't know.
I was just going to say, you never know. All right. Noon games. We got Pittsburgh at Buffalo.
Buffalo.
The Bills.
I'm going to go with the Bills. Chargers at the Browns.
Chargers.
Chargers.
Bears at Minnesota.
Minnesota.
Oh, man.
Just
I'm
say
going to go
Minnesota.
Minnesota.
There we go, Minnesota.
Even though I'm going to be at the game cheering for the Bears.
Oh, that works in our favor.
Damn.
Detroit at New England.
New England.
I'm going to go Detroit.
As the new shirt will eventually say, as am I.
As am I what?
The Lions.
Okay.
Seahawks at New Orleans.
I'm going to New Orleans.
I am too.
You know what? I'm gonna go with the Seahawks. Right. Miami at the Jets.
I'm going to go with the Jets.
I was going to start singing Benny and the Jets for a second, but I'm just going to go to Jets.
Yeah, I got the Jets. As much as I actually think Teddy Bridgewater might have a good game, I think the Jets and Zach Wilson and his I just hooked up with Giselle Powers is going to come into play.
She was in New York for a reason.
I'm saying. All right, she says she wanted a young buck, not the old one. Next up, speaking of bucks, we have Atlanta at Tampa Bay.
I'm going Tampa Bay.
I'm going Tampa Bay too. Even though Tom's going to be going through some things here.
It won't be Giselle. I'm going through the bucks as well. I can't stop. I'm sorry.
I'm surprised you didn't bring that story up earlier.
I don't need to. It's not fantasy related.
Shit, it could be.
You don't put up big numbers fantasy wise, anyways.
Shit. He was just on the outside of being a heavy hitter.
I hear that every year, Big Ed. Every year, somebody tells me that Tom Brady don't put up great fantasy numbers, and it's just not true. I've been hearing that every year since he was like second or third year. Since I've been playing fantasy football, I've heard it every single fucking year.
Well,
I mean, shit. We're supposed to do the top 3 for
It's
heavy
just not
hitters,
true.
right?
It's
He
just
was actually
not true.
number 4.
Yeah, it's just not true. He's always put up good numbers. I
Well-
hear it every year, and it's not true.
if you ask Giselle, not this year. Zach's doing better. All right, so Tennessee at Washington.
Tennessee.
Tennessee.
I'm gonna go with Tennessee. Ooh, here we go. Psych. Texans at the Jacksonville Jags.
Jaguars.
Jags. They actually look like they're trying to actually play football this year. It's kind of
Yeah,
interesting.
it's a whole different atmosphere in Jacksonville right now.
Yeah, I'm impressed.
Well,
All
Doug
right.
Peterson did the same thing with the Eagles, so
That's fair. The 49ers at the Panthers.
49ers.
49ers.
49.
Actually, I'm gonna say Hufanga.
Yeah, Hufanga. Debo Fonga. All right. Cowboys at the Rams. Ooh.
Cowboys.
I'm going Cowboys.
Cooper Rush got that offense moving.
Man, that brings me to a question I was going to ask tonight. Do you think this situation with Dak and Cooper Rush is going to be a situation where Dak's looking and potentially getting nervous, or is it a?
He's already looking nervous. He was looking nervous last week.
Well, I was going to say, or is it a Teddy Bridgewater and a Drew Brees situation where no matter what, he's coming back for the start. He's getting the spot.
Hell no. He's
No.
not earned. A, he hasn't earned that kind of cachet, and B, Jerry Jones never liked him anyway.
Nah, Jerry C. Tony and Cooper Rush.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. I can see that.
I think he's going to come back and have to fight for his job.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I'm gonna go with the Cowboys on this one as well.
I wouldn't be surprised if they look to trade Dak next year.
Either way, they got a good draft pick out of
Me
either. Of them.
either. I think they're gonna trade him next year too. I totally agree.
Oh, there you go, Seattle. You got your new quarterback. Philly at the Cardinals.
Philly.
I will go with Philly as well. All right, this is looking really interesting. All right, Cincinnati at Baltimore.
I'm gonna go with Baltimore.
As am I.
All right, since we have been picking the same thing over and over and over again this week, I am gonna go with the Bengals just for the hell of maybe I might win this week.
I gotta say though, be looking for your As am I shirts coming soon.
All right, next week, Monday Night Football. We got the Raiders at Kansas City and those Chiefs.
I'm gonna go with Chiefs.
Me too.
As the shirts will say, as am I.
And that's it.
That is it.
I have a question.
Yes.
What's that?
I have two questions. Who does Green Bay play again?
The Giants in London.
And who does the Chargers play?
They are in Cleveland.
Okay. We have a lot of games where we all picked the same team this
Mhm.
week. Very slim pickings to separate us. We picked all the same except for what 1, 2.
And What, me and you are separated by 2?
We only got 3 games that we all didn't pick the same.
Oh, wow.
I noticed that as I was writing these down. I'm like, I'm just gonna start picking shit that I know that they haven't yet.
Yeah, all but 3, 4 games.
Mm.
No, 3. No, we're 3. 3 games. That's all that's gonna separate us. Everything else we picked the same. We picked the same teams on everything else.
So it's gonna be a close scoring week next week.
We're gonna pretty much all have the same. Cause me and Big Ed only got 1.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, we picked the same on everything except 1, and then Wayz picked.
I did not try to do that.
But it is what it is, man. Anyway, Wayz, we done?
We are done.
We are out of here like last year. We want to thank y'all for joining us. And make sure you catch us next week for the Showdown. I'm your boy OG Tim Wilson. On behalf of the Homeboys, the Nasty Boys, Big Ed and Wayz, thank y'all for joining us. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. The channel is the What Up Though Show Network. And we want to thank you again for being a part of the What Up Though Show Network family. Catch you next week. Peace.